This year has been a nightmare for B.C. cattle ranchers. They have faced a series of challenges that have threatened their livelihoods and the future of their industry. The main culprits are drought and wildfires, which have created a severe hay shortage and forced many ranchers to relocate their livestock or sell them off. The drought has been unprecedented in its duration and intensity. It has reduced the amount of grass and hay available for grazing and harvesting, leaving many ranchers scrambling to find alternative sources of feed for their animals. According to Steve Johnson, a partner at TNT Hay Sales, demand for hay has never been higher, but supply is scarce. He says he is getting phone calls from places like Idaho and Montana, where the drought has also hit hard. The lack of feed has driven up the prices to unsustainable levels for many ranchers. Judy Madden, a Dawson Creek cattle rancher and president of the South Peace Cattlemen's Association, says she fears losing a lot of her breeding herd because of the high costs. She says winter feed grain prices have skyrocketed thanks to drought year harvests. The drought has also affected the water sources that ranchers rely on for their animals. Many wells, ponds, and streams have dried up or become contaminated, forcing ranchers to haul water from elsewhere or install expensive irrigation systems. As if the drought was not enough, the wildfires have added another layer of stress and uncertainty for B.C. cattle ranchers. The province has experienced one of its worst wildfire seasons on record, with hundreds of fires burning across the land. Some of these fires have destroyed pastures, fences, barns, and homes, as well as killed or injured livestock. Many ranchers have had to evacuate their animals to safer locations, which is not an easy task. They have to find suitable transport, available space, and adequate feed for their cattle. The provincial and federal governments have announced some supports for ranchers affected by wildfires, such as livestock relocation assistance and emergency feed programs. However, these measures may not be enough to cover all the expenses and losses that ranchers have incurred. The impacts of the drought and wildfires on B.C. cattle ranchers are not only immediate, but also long-term. Kevin Boone, general manager of the B.C. Cattlemen's Association, says that some ranchers may have to thin their herds or exit the industry altogether because of the crisis. He predicts that Canada will lose about 1/3 of its base beef cattle herd due to the drought. This could have implications for the Canadian beef supply and prices in the future. Cattle ranchers are resilient and resourceful, but they are also facing a perfect storm of challenges that are beyond their control. They are fighting back against financial distortion by seeking help from governments, organizations, and communities. They are also hoping for more rain and less fire in the coming months. Cattle ranchers have faced a series of challenges this year, from drought and wildfires to rising feed costs and market disruptions. But they have also received some government funding to cope with the crisis, such as the Agri-Recovery Fund, the Wildfire Emergency Feed Program, and supports for cattle evacuated by wildfires. The Agri-Recovery Fund is a joint federal-provincial initiative that provides assistance to farmers and ranchers who incur extraordinary costs due to natural disasters. This year, BC's ranchers can access up to $20 million from the fund to help with expenses related to feed, shelter, animal health and safety, and transportation of their livestock. The fund also covers costs for reseeding forage, replacing fencing or beekeeping equipment damaged by fires, and supporting herd management for breeding animals. The Wildfire Emergency Feed Program is another provincial program that offers 2 weeks of support for commercial livestock businesses that have no feed for their animals due to wildfires. The program covers the cost of feed delivery and transportation of animals to a safe feeding location. The program is intended to help ranchers who are under evacuation order or alert or who have lost access to their grazing land or feed sources because of fire. Supports for cattle evacuated by wildfires are also available through the Ministry of Agriculture and the BC Cattlemen's Association. These supports include coordinating livestock relocation, providing emergency feed and water, arranging veterinary services, and reimbursing transportation costs. The ministry and the association work together to identify available land and facilities for evacuated livestock, and to connect ranchers with volunteers and donations. These government funding programs and supports are meant to help B.C. cattle ranchers survive the difficult conditions they are facing this year, and to maintain their operations and food supply for the province. However, some ranchers say that the funding is not enough to cover their losses, and that the crisis will take years to fix. They are calling for more long-term solutions, such as improving water infrastructure, enhancing fire prevention and mitigation measures, and addressing market barriers. Cattle ranchers have faced many financial challenges in recent years due to droughts, wildfires, rising costs, and market fluctuations. Some of them have sought alternative solutions to overcome these difficulties and keep their businesses viable. One of these solutions is leasing part of their land to hemp operations. Hemp is a crop that can be used for various purposes, such as food, fiber, oil, and medicine. It is also drought tolerant and can grow in poor soil conditions. By leasing their land to hemp growers, ranchers can earn extra income and diversify their revenue streams. Another solution is finding new investors who are willing to support the ranching industry and share the risks and rewards. Some ranchers have partnered with wealthy individuals or corporations who have an interest in preserving the land and the cattle heritage. For example, the Douglas Ranch near Merritt, BC, is owned by American billionaires Stan Kroenke and Tom Siebel, who have invested millions of dollars in improving the ranch's infrastructure and environmental practices. A third solution is creating new business plans that adapt to the changing market demands and consumer preferences. Some ranchers have shifted their focus from producing beef to providing other services, such as tourism, education, conservation, or recreation. For example, some ranches offer guest cabins, horseback riding, fishing, hunting, or wildlife viewing. Others host workshops, events, or school programs that teach people about ranching history and culture. These are some of the ways that B.C. cattle ranchers have tried to cope with the financial challenges they face. However, these solutions are not without their own challenges and limitations. Ranchers still need adequate support from the government and the public to ensure their long-term survival and success.